Okay, hi, and thanks for watching. I don't normally do such high sort of intense videos here for this training that we're going to jump over, but we're just testing out a few video options here. So that's why we've got, a few camera angles and whatnot and just trying to test out the sound. So basically, we've got my computer screen here, and I'm going to run through the process of setting these articles up as drafts in WordPress. So the job task for this position. And this training video is going to be about the websites that we have which are involved with the CBD supplement. So basically, I've just got them up here, and I'll have a link below this video to the proper URLs, but it's this particular website, CBD for Athletics, CBD Cream Shop, and CBD Gummy Guy. So you can see that all of these there are in production, so to speak. We're just working on getting the content up on them. So the homepage is certainly nothing that's finished at all. And we're just working on getting some content up, and that's why we need your help to do that. So I'm going to run through the process of getting an article that an author has written and getting it up on this CBD for Athletics site. So we'll run through that, and we'll see how long it typically will take to get one article up and running. So I'm going to run into, head over to Trello. So here we're on the Trello board for CBD projects. So you will be what's called a member of this board, and you'll be able to see whatever articles that you are a member of. So in this panel, we can see there's content topics, pending writer approval. So these are the ones that this writer will say if they approve to write this article, and they'll move it into this heading, in production with writer, and then pending approval and payment. So this is typically where you will get tagged, because these 5 articles, this author Steve has written these and he's attached them here. So we need to go in and get the attachment and bring it over and format it as a draft. So you might not see all this when you're a member, but you will certainly be able to get access to this particular card and these particular blog posts. So let's do this first one here, CBD for muscle and strength. So you're gonna basically be tagged here, and you can scroll down and you'll get access to this Google Doc. So your first task is to basically find the article in this Google Doc. And what we wanna do now is edit, select all, and we wanna copy that. And then we'll come over to this site that I referenced in that previous introductory video called textfixer.com. And basically, we want to scroll down here and paste the article that we just copied, and we want to hit convert line breaks. And now we have perfectly double space, single space, perfect line breaks within that article. So we're going to copy this. And now we're going to head over to the dashboard for this particular article. So remember that on each Trello card, you can see the exact website that this is referencing, CBD for Athletics. So we are going to head over to that, and you'll have access probably as a contributor. So you'll be able to edit some drafts in WordPress. You certainly won't need access to all the different admin panel in the back of WordPress. So basically, we want to go down here and to posts. And now we want to add this new post and save it as a draft. So we're going to click add new. And we're going to paste it in here. And right away, what I like to do is just hit save draft. And now we could work on formatting the article. So you can always go to preview post. If you just open that in a new tab, you can see that here we don't have a category, we don't have a title yet, and the blog post is basically just a whole bunch of text. So in terms of reference, you can always go to the blog and just look at the previous posts. So basically this first one on any of these websites that you're working on, you can see that this is a post which is formatted already. So we don't have an image yet, but we'll need to set up the title. And you can see that here is a heading tag, a subheading tag. And then scrolling down, we've got a potential quote there, some more heading tags, and then we've got some bullet points, And basically you can just format this and look at it yourself. We've got a little note box, which we'll go over, and some lists and some outbound links. Okay, so we'll go and format this article that we just highlighted and try and get the same formatting as these blog posts. So you can always go and reference the blog posts that are already there when you're doing this. So the next thing that we like to do is, this is the title. So we can basically put that as the title and we can save that. So now we've got the proper title. Don't worry about the specifics of the URL. We'll go and change that as well. And if we scroll down to the SEO information here, you don't need to worry about inputting anything here. You can simply just put in the title for the title that came with the article. So this one, you can see this would be the title. So we can put that title in there. The author is always just going to be the main author, which is just, you'll just have one option. So we'll leave that Tyler. And then for categories, basically don't worry about that either. So you've copied and pasted it in there and you've just added the title there. And that's the most in terms of SEO or optimizing that we'll need to do. So we can just save that draft. And this is the preview that we have going on right now. So we'll see how long this takes. It's been just at 10 past 10, or excuse me, 12 after 11. So now what we need to do is basically, the author has written the articles mainly in the Google Doc with the same formatting that we need to do. So we can see here, here's a subheadline, here's a subheadline, and then we may have an outbound link here, and then we've got some number lists. So basically all that I do when I do these, that you should do, is just go through the document and copy the formatting into the article. So we can see here we've got the first headline, the importance of muscle mass for athletes. And we're gonna make all the sub-headlines H3. So you will copy that or highlight that and we'll go H3, and there you go. Now I don't like to have capitals for some of these smaller words. So basically just follow that format, just capitalize the important parts. So what words like of, for, the, we don't want to capitalize those. So that one's capitalized, and we got a subheadline there. So scrolling down, we got another one here. How does your body build muscle? So here it is here. So we'll make that an H3. So these are all going to be H3s. Scrolling down, we've got this one here, how hormones affect your ability. So we'll make that an H3. The role of inflammation in building and muscle building. Okay, and again, we don't want, sometimes the authors just forget to do this. And always just save it as a draft as you go. And here we are, and we can just refresh this and we can see, okay, so we're starting to format this article the way we want. We've got our first subheadline there, we've got our second subheadline there, and so forth. So we're working our way through. Okay, so now we've got a link. So the authors are going to include links to other websites in these articles, and they're mainly going to be associated with, you know, some of the studies that the articles may reference. So basically here, we will just go visit that page. Now we want to add this as an outbound link to the article. So basically copy this address, and you can see that here we've referenced it, the role of inflammation in muscle building, and the author put it right down here, high levels of inflammation compounds in fatty tissue. So we want to find that in our draft. Here we go, a 2002 study, and they have referenced it. So the first word is high levels all the way to the end. So high levels all the way to the end. So this is our first outbound authority link. So we can come up here in the draft and we want to insert link. Okay, and we will copy and paste that link in there. And then what we want to do is go to link options, and we want all our outbound links to just open in a new window. So we're going to update that. Okay, And we can go ahead and save that, and you can just test that link out if you want. Once you save it, you can preview post. And here's that link that we had. And once we click that, we've got an outbound authority link, outbound link to this reference, muscle mass gain after resistance. So that's the way the links are supposed to be set up. And again, all these links are in this page. So now we'll continue scrolling down, and we've got another headline here. So we'll just go through these a little bit more. Okay. How can CBD help you build muscle and strength? Okay, so now we've got a list. So this is basically a little bit of the formatting, 3 ways. So we've got a strong headline here. So for some of these, we can make them, the list numbers, we want these to be H3, but a heading like this, we want that to be an H2. Now it won't matter too much, but basically we can make that a H2 heading. And then you'll see that the numbers don't necessarily come over when you copy and paste it from the Google Docs. So the first one here, you can see the numbers here in the document, but it's not necessarily pasted when you do it. So number 1 here, so we want to make this number 1, and we will make those H3s. So we've got H2 for the big headline that might have a list below it, and then these should be H3s. Okay, we've got an outbound link there. More outbound links. Then we've got another number there. CBD can help you sleep better. So here's that one. And we want to make that H3. And a third one there. CBD can boost your energy levels. Okay, so make that an H3. And then we've got another outbound link. And then the last one, improve your muscle gain and strength with CBD today. So make that an H3. Okay, and we'll save that. Now there weren't any bullet points there in this particular article, but that's okay. And then when we refresh, we can see that we've basically formatted this article, just adding the text, adding the headings, and we link to one, and obviously there were several other links that you should set up there and so forth. So that's basically how to set up that different formatting. Now I'm going to show 2 options that we sometimes use when there's a note. So we use this feature box, and I'll show you how to do that right now. And then basically, if there was a list, I'll show you how to do that as well. So if we can just pretend that we had some sort of list here. Basically, okay, we'll leave that, and I'll jump over to that in a different section here. Okay, so there is the formatting. So let's pretend I'm gonna go through how to set up a note. So you can see here in this particular article, we have some bullet points here. So basically, and we've got this yellow call-out box here. So I'm gonna show you how to set up these yellow call-out boxes because we're gonna use them on some of the other sites. So basically, to set up a bullet point, I think it's self-explanatory. If you know how to use WordPress here, you've got the bullet point list. So if this, for example, was a list of things, then we would highlight that and hit list and save that. And you can see that what we created here was that set of bullet point list. So it wasn't actually written like that. I just wanted to show you for an example how to do that. So that's pretty self-explanatory. If there's a bullet point lists, that's how you set up the lists. Now say there was that note section and we wanted to put a yellow call-out box. So basically what we'll do is, if this is the section that we want to put in a yellow callout box. So these yellow callout boxes are sometimes within the article if there's a special note or if some sort of content that's within the article needs to be highlighted. The way to do that is to highlight the text that you want, and you're going to go to Add Element, and you're going to type in feature block. So it should be, feature box. And we're going to scroll down till we get to the yellow feature box. And we're going to insert. Oh, fuck. Okay, so basically you want to highlight your text and copy that or cut that text, then add the element feature box. And paste the text in here. So now we've got the note, and maybe we'll bold the note and we go insert. So now we've got the feature box right there. So that's a bit of code that is used in this theme to set up that feature box. And then if we save that, excuse me, and we highlight what we've done here, we've created this note. So create notes within the format if there's basically if the article calls for a note or if there's something that should be highlighted within this article, then we'll want to create a little note like that, and that is how you do that. So basically you can come here and just delete that because it wasn't part of the thing. But to do a note, we want to basically copy the text or cut the text, and then we go to Add Element and we go Feature Box. And you can choose these feature boxes. We typically use this yellow one, and then you paste in your text here and you hit Insert. Okay? So basically that's the gist of it. And that didn't take too long. The idea is that we just want to transfer the Google document as a draft in WordPress and set up the headlines, the subheadlines, the bullet lists, and any note boxes within the article. The next step that we need you to do is actually go through and read the article and make sure that there aren't any spelling mistakes. And then if there are important sections, then we want you to actually bold them or highlight them in this particular manner. So you can see here we've added this sort of quote. So I'll show you how to do that. So here we have the starting. Are you trying to build bigger, stronger muscles? If so, you may have heard about CBD as potentially used as an exercise. Well, it's true. So basically right here, we can maybe put something like this. Well, it's true. And then we want to highlight this. So we'll bold, italics, and then block quote. And when we save that draft and see what it looks like, we can see that here we formatted this section here. So there's your block quote. So we don't want to use a ton of these, but when there is a sentence that is sort of like a main topic, we want to add that in. So if we look at this article, if we scroll through, it's sort of not too nice to read right now. There aren't any bold sections. There's no quotes. So basically, as we proofread the article, if there's a certain sentence within some of these headlines, subheadlines, that is like the main sentence for that area. So the importance of muscle mass for building, for athletes. If this is basically, you want to highlight and bold some of the important sections within the subheadlines, and just refer to this article and see, give this a read through and see which ones, what constitutes something that should be bolded and what constitutes something that should have a block quote like that. You can see that as we scroll through this, it's much easier to read on the eyes. We've got some bold and we've got some call out boxes here. So basically, you want to apply that same thing to the articles when you format them, and then basically read it through and find any spelling mistakes or grammatical mistakes. The most that you will probably find is you might have missed an S somewhere. The author might have missed an S, or you might have an apostrophe somewhere that is sort of in the wrong place. So that's the gist of it. Excuse me. Basically, grab the article, paste it as a draft, save it as a draft, and then copy the formatting that the article comes with, and you want to proofread the article, and you want to basically create some bold lines and some block quote and italic and bold callouts when you feel that the article should sort of get that based on the past articles and based on reading through the article. So I think that's it for those 3 websites. Below this video, I'll have a link to the important resources for copying that text, and then we'll have the other videos for the other websites and how to format those articles.